Show me a man who wields no limits, and I'll show you a city that never saw the light of day. Now, our human nature in itself speaks of the fact that we have limitations. We are not open to everything. Today, we're talking about the importance of setting boundaries as human beings living in this social space. This is once again your interesting platform where we have all the educative and insightful content. The name is REFLO'S TV, and we're here once again for another episode. We want to thank you so much for always sticking and staying with us, and want you to know, as usual, that we've been brought to you by REFLO'S Sanitary Pads. Your well-being has always been our number one priority, and I tell you, lady out there, to go there to get REFLO'S Sanitary Pads for yourself, the only material that you can be assured of to keep you safe and intact in that time of the month. It is REFLO'S Sanitary Pads, and for my heavy flowing ladies, we have a product specially made for you to hold you in the time of the month. So do not waste any time. Go there and buy one for yourself. And for REFLO'S Church Girl, as I've always said, there is dignity in doing it right. So let's get straight to the topic for today: setting boundaries. And hear me out on my point of view as far as this topic is concerned. Now, as I've already said, we're human, living in a human society. It tells you that offenses are bound to happen. You know, people are going to offend us, not because they intentionally always want to offend us, but because sometimes the things you like, they do not like, or sometimes in doing what they like, they might get into your way. It is the reason it is very essential that as a human being, you have boundaries, you create boundaries, you communicate your boundaries, and you also anticipate that the other person you're dealing with also has boundaries. Anticipate them and respect them. So we are looking at these key things: having and creating boundaries, owning these boundaries and communicating them to other people, understanding that the other person also has boundaries that you need to importantly respect. Now, in our space as youthful people, I want to talk about important boundaries that we need to be aware of wherever we will find ourselves. I'm talking about physical or sexual boundaries. Yes, I'm talking about time boundaries, and I'm talking about financial boundaries. So let's look at physical, sexual boundaries. We cannot hide from the fact that these days people normalize everything physical, sexual. And given how easy things come to us living in this technological space, people feel that when it comes to physical or sexual contact, everything must be so. It is important for you as a human being, no matter what your orientation on sexual or physical contact is, to set boundaries. Some people meet you and they want to be outward with you anyway, anyhow. My dear friends, it does not work like that. It is not about pleasing everybody. Come on, you are not Father Christmas. You're not ice cream. You need to, wield these physical boundaries. Let the other person understand that these are lines or limits that you cannot cross. If somebody is touching you in a way, hugging you in a way, and you are not comfortable with it, communicate it. You also doing that must understand that you don't just go out to do that with anybody. So you meet somebody you don't know and you're being overly physical with them. Maybe they are not comfortable. Some of you, you kakra Muslim, which shrem do. Are you the only church girl? And now they are quiffed, then now they are church girl. Do you always say, do? No, that is not it. If I'm not comfortable with you and I tell you, respect it. If you think anything should be done with you or you are cool with anything, that's you. If somebody doesn't like it, please do respect it. That is the person's physical boundary that they have created. If you do not have one, it's up to you. But if somebody has one, please do respect it. Time boundaries. Very, very important. You cannot always be available anywhere, everywhere, for anybody at any point in time. Just like that. What will be your essence? If you are always out there to anybody, you must understand that time is not that free. Time is limited. And you must set time boundaries for yourself. What are you using your time for? You must create time boundaries. Somebody comes to you, calls you at any time, Charlie, let's go out. Maybe that is your resting period. Maybe that's the period you're doing something very important for yourself, with your business, with your work, with your academic stuff. And you get up and follow that person just because you want to please them. And I hear them. You should be able to communicate to that person that this time is reserved for me, this time is reserved for so thing, and I cannot follow you. You communicate it respectfully, and it is for that person to rationally understand that that is the boundary you set for yourself with respect to time. Please do not joke with time. Time spent can never be regained. So know how you spend your time. You must set time boundaries for yourself, and you must allow the other person to know that these are your boundaries, and they also have to respect the limits that you set with respect to time. Let's talk about financial boundaries. Are we not in interesting times where many people are so entitled and they think that just because somebody has money, that person should be at their beck and call? This has become a trend, and to me, it's very worrying. You go on social media and you see so many stories to it. You borrow from people, and when it's time for you to redeem, you do not do that. Some people even say, I didn't hear all mommy be. This person has so much money. Why are they not helping me? That family member of mine has so much money. Why are they not helping me? Please, is it your money? Is it your money? Are you the one to tell the person what to use their money for? Financial boundaries, ladies and gentlemen, it's very important. You are not entitled to anybody's money. If you need money, go and work for it. If somebody gives you a penny, they have worked for it and they are giving it to you. If somebody has zillions of money, it is not for you to determine what they should use their money for. If they're going to give you a penny, it is out of their benevolence that they are giving it to you. If you don't like it, fine, tell them to reserve it. But for you to, be there and be entitled to somebody just because to you they have money, it does not work that way. In an age where people determine to people what they use their money for, you sit there and complain about people giving their money to men of God, donating to charitable causes and telling them that they don't know what they are using their money for. They have the independence and the prerogative to know what to use their money for. If you want to use your money for chilling or whatever you want, that is your money. Let us respect it. If somebody is taking their money to church or they are donating their money to some foundation or some charitable causes, that is what they want to use their money for. The key word here is respect. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't go talking somebody down on what they are using their money for. Once they have worked for it, it is theirs and they know what to use it for. Do not be entitled. You borrow, redeem it at the time that you're supposed to redeem it. If they won't give you, that is fine. Go work for yours. Financial boundaries. Everybody has the right to know what to use their money for. In talking about boundaries, let me caution all of us that it is important for us to differentiate healthy boundaries from unhealthy boundaries. And I'm going to tell you what a healthy boundary is and what an unhealthy boundary is. A healthy boundary is a boundary that is reasonable and that is communicated reasonably to other people. An unhealthy boundary is one that is rigid. And let me give you a classical example. I cited an example of somebody coming to call me to go somewhere with them when I had something doing with work, with school, whatever it is. There may be certain circumstances when somebody deeply needs your help. Like somebody is not feeling well and they need you to accompany them to a health facility. Like somebody is emotionally down and they need you to talk to them. And you say you are doing this, so you can't even spare few minutes for that person. That is so inhuman of you, and that is so unreasonable. Sometimes you get so caught up with what you're doing and you don't even think about people. You get yourself so rigid that you cannot reason and rationalize when you need to make changes. So in as much as it's important for you to set boundaries and make boundaries, I want you to understand that there are certain days where excuses are bound to happen just because what is at stake needs to be attended to, and it is important to give the other person that leeway to come to you or to access you. So whilst you create boundaries, whilst you make boundaries, whilst you communicate boundaries, and whilst you respect other people's boundaries, understand that there are days you don't have it to be too rigid, and you have to rationalize and be reasonable as highly as you can. What do you have to say about this? What are the necessary boundaries that you're creating to, be in that space and feel as human as you can? What are the boundaries that you think that you need to anticipate on the other person's side and respect on the other person's side? These are the conversations I want us to be having on a daily. And today on this episode, I want to see these comments in our comments section. But you know that this is the right place to be, the right place for the right information for your growth and your development. So keep feeding on content from REFLO'S TV. And we thank you so much for, grabbing our sanitary pads, REFLO'S sanitary pads. Keep buying them because this is the only product that promises you quality and affordability at the same time. Be an advocate, go out there, talk to somebody about it, buy a gift set of our sanitary pads and give it to your friend on their birthday. Give it to your mother, give it to that female person and let them know that indeed you have them at heart. The number is 055 111 1169. 055 11169. For those of you who want to buy in bulk purchases, our office is at Medina Social Welfare. When you call the number, we're going to direct you. Come and buy them and stock your shop with them, and get people coming to grab them in large quantities. Continue to be with us because you're going to be here same time next week with another interesting and educative content. As always, there is dignity in doing it right. I'm signing up. REFLO'S Church Girl is the name. I love you and we love you always and hope to see you next week. It's a bye. Jealousy can be destructive. Jealousy can cause people to murder. Oh, you have heard stories where people have poisoned their friends